Alright, welcome back guys to another episode of Sith History. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So in the last video, we actually learned about a lot of the Great Sith War that was started by Exar Kun and Keldroma. And it is just amazing because, I mean, like I said, I really loved Exar Kun's story of like how he rose to like just like a promising Jedi, but then his like thirst for knowledge and ambition led him down a dark path. And it is amazing to see how much he accomplished within less than a year, like the devastation, the destruction, everything. And he could have probably succeeded if it wasn't for betrayals and infighting. So basically every single downfall of a Sith. But this next video I'm really excited to see because of the title. And so it is when Jedi in action split the order in half. But however, the names, it says the rise and fall of Revan and Malak. I am really excited to see this one because Darth Revan and Darth Malak, the first time I saw them and heard about them was the game Knights of the Old Republic. And what I like about Darth Revan is like I always said that like he was like really cool looking because of his Mandalorian helmet and like his story of his redemption, of like how he fell to the dark side, but then he was like defeated and captured by the Jedi, and then I think his like memory was wiped, and then he just like trained again to become a Jedi, and that's how they like defeated Darth Malak. But if you guys don't know, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I'm really excited to see this one. So without anything else, let's get into it.
In our last video on the history of the Sith Empire, we told the stories of Exar Kun and Ulic Qel-Droma, the Sith Lords of the Great Sith War. These fearsome Dark Lords brought the teachings of the Sith to a new generation, starting the first of the old Sith Wars. But their failed crusade against the Republic was only the beginning of this dark chapter in galactic history. Just a few decades later, two new Dark Lords would build yet another Sith Empire and make war on the Jedi, and in this video, we'll be telling the first part of their story.
Well, the names of the two Jedis are already in the title, so...
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
At the end of the Great Sith War in 3996 BBY, Exar Kun's Sith Brotherhood was thoroughly dismantled.
His lightsaber looks really cool, by the way.
Jedi. The Massassi were wiped out and Yavin 4 was scoured. The Krath and the Makrosa Order were purged and their respective territories returned to Republic rule. And the Dark Jedi serving the Sith were almost all slain. The reformed Jedi Council ordered a great hunt against the Terran-Tech and other Sith-spawn creatures Exar Kun had unleashed, and within a few years, the mission was deemed mostly successful. A few Sith holdouts endured on Korriban and a few other ruined Sith worlds, but for the most part, the Sith were out of the picture. But the Mandalorians weren't. In the Battle of Onderon near the end of the war, the Mandalorian Crusaders, who were allies of the Sith, had been utterly defeated, and Mandalore the Indomitable himself had died on Duxon. But a new Mandalore took up his mask, and he set about rebuilding the strength of the Mandalorian
That's
clans.
right.
He called himself Mandalore the Ultimate, and he completely reformed Mandalorian society, turning the clans from a scattered people of nomadic warriors to a centralized industrial military machine. As the Republic licked its wounds and the Jedi regrouped in their new temple on Coruscant, the Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders began quietly expanding, building their strength for a new crusade. 20 years after the defeat of Exar Kun, the Mandalorians began conquering systems beyond its borders of the Republic, beginning the first stage of the Mandalorian Wars. The Galactic Senate, after much debate, refused to get involved, since the Republic was still weak and the Mandalorians avoided attacking Republic member worlds. But this was a mistake. Over the course of the next decade, the Mandalorians conquered a vast chunk of the Outer Rim, giving them the recruits and resources they needed for a more daring offensive. A decade after they began their campaigns in the Outer Rim, the Mandalorians began steadily encroaching on Republic space. In 3964 BBY, they launched an all-out invasion of the Republic, and the true war began. For 2 years, the Neo-Crusaders beat the Republic badly, smashing the Republic Navy in battle after battle and advancing as far as Duro in the core worlds. The Republic, desperate, asked the Jedi Order for aid, but the Council refused. The Order was still recuperating from the catastrophic losses it suffered in the war with Exar Kun, and on top of that, many on the Council sensed that the Mandalorian Wars weren't what they appeared to be. They felt that some darker force was behind the Mandalorian invasion, and they feared that the brutality of war would draw some of the younger Jedi over to the dark side, with potentially disastrous consequences. They wanted time to ascertain the true nature of the threat, but some Jedi refused to wait. Their names were Revan and Malak, and they were two of the Order's most promising Jedi Knights. They believed that the Jedi should join the fight and challenge the Mandalorians head-on, and so they ignored the orders of the Council, gathering a group of like-minded followers and heading off to the front lines. At first, the Jedi Council tried to apprehend these revanchists, as they were called, but once Revan presented irrefutable proof of the Mandalorians' atrocities at Cathar, the Council reluctantly granted him and his Crusaders sanction. The Supreme Chancellor gave Revan the rank of Supreme Commander and put a third of the entire Republic military under his and Malak's direct command. Many of the Order's strongest Jedi flocked to join them, most notably Mitra Surik, and they were given the rank of General. Revan and his Crusaders turned the war around for the Republic, and over the course of 2 bloody years, they slowly drove the Mandalorians back to the Outer Rim. But the cost was extremely high. Every victory against the Mandalorians came at the cost of thousands of Jedi and Republic soldiers, and the war left countless planets completely devastated. Achieving these victories also came at personal cost to Revan, Malak, and their followers. Revan was a tactical genius, and when he joined the fight, he did so because of his Jedi ideals, because he wanted to protect the innocent. But Revan soon found that not even he could fight a clean war against the Mandalorians, not if he wanted to win. And so Revan and Malak matched the Mandalorians for brutality, becoming increasingly willing to sacrifice entire planets to secure crucial tactical victories. In the Battle of Duxon, Revan ordered tens of thousands to their deaths, many in feints and deliberately high casualty operations in order to capture one of the Mandalorians' most important strongholds. Civilians went from being the reason Revan and Malak had gone to war in the first place to inconveniences that they were willing to sacrifice for victory. These moral shortcuts became easier and easier for the revanchists as the war went on, and after 2 years, most of Revan's followers were starting to fall to the dark side, just as the Council had feared, as were Revan and Malak themselves.
Looks like he put on the mask.
Came in 3960 BBY with the last battle of the Mandalorian Wars. In the Battle of Malachor V, while Revan killed Mandalore the Ultimate, he had his lieutenant, Mitra Surik, use a superweapon called the Mass Shadow Generator to destroy the Mandalorian fleet. In the process, the weapon destroyed a vast portion of the Republic fleet as well as Malachor V itself, compacting thousands of beings into the planet's shattered crust in an instant. This act destroyed the Mandalorians. The survivors issued an unconditional surrender after this atrocity, but it also killed a great many Jedi and Republic officers, almost all of whom, it was later noted, were among the revanchists who were more critical of Revan's callous tactics. Those in Revan's fleet who survived this battle were more loyal to him than the Jedi or the Republic, exactly as Revan had intended. After the battle was over and the remaining Mandalorians had been disarmed and scattered, Revan gathered his remaining followers and headed into unknown space, claiming to be hunting down Mandalorian remnants. Even as the Republic celebrated them as the saviors of the galaxy, they vanished, and no one knew where they had gone. Then, a few hours later, they returned as conquerors. Before the battle, Revan had found something on Malachor V, the Trace Academy, an ancient Sith fortress. There, he encountered teachings of the Sith, which he introduced to Malak. By that point, both men were in the grip of the dark side, Malak more so than Revan, and they were starting to embrace it. They disseminated the Sith teachings through the ranks of their followers, and even as they won the Mandalorian Wars for the Republic, they began to prepare for a new war, one in which they would be the aggressors. For it was at Malachor V, from the dying words of Mandalore the Ultimate, that they learned even darker secrets than the teachings of the Sith, whispers of another threat waiting beyond the Outer Rim, and this led Revan to believe that the Republic needed to be transformed into something stronger. Heeding Mandalore's last words, Revan and Malak traveled alone into the unknown regions, and for a time, not even their followers knew where they had gone. When they returned, they began to work on a plan to conquer the Republic and establish a new Sith Empire. The first stage of this plan involved a bit of archaeology work. During the Mandalorian Wars, Revan and Malak had discovered something interesting near the Jedi Enclave on Dantooine, ancient ruins containing a star map. A droid in the ruins, tens of thousands of years old, told them that the site was built as a monument to the Star Forge, the greatest achievement of the ancient Infinite Empire. Revan and Malak knew of no such civilization, but on Malachor V, they learned more. The Infinite Empire, as we discussed in our first episode, was a dark side civilization controlled by the Rakata that had ruled the galaxy in the years before the Republic. The Republic had deliberately purged the Rakata from history long ago. The Sith, whose pure-blood predecessors developed their identity in an ancient war with the Infinite Empire, had not. Revan and Malak learned that the Star Forge was a massive Force-attuned space station in the Rakata's home system, a powerful tool of the dark side that used stellar matter and the Force to create infinite fleets of warships and battle droids. Revan and Malak saw it as their ticket for crushing the Republic, but the star map on Dantooine was damaged and incomplete, so they were forced to travel all over the galaxy looking for others, hoping that multiple would give them enough data to triangulate the Star Forge's location. From Malachor, Revan, Malak, and Revan's newly built assassin droid, HK-47, traveled to Korriban, where they allied with the Sith remnants and found the star map hidden in the tomb of Naga Sadow. They found others in the Shadowlands of Kashyyyk, the Rakhut Rift on Manaan, and in an ancient temple deep in the deserts of Tatooine. Eventually, they were able to triangulate the location of Rakata Prime, and they led their fleet of followers to the Starforge. Revan and Malak claimed the station as their own, and from the command deck of the Starforge, they at last proclaimed themselves the new Dark Lords of the Sith. They became Darth Revan and Darth Malak, the rulers of a new Sith Empire. Their followers, who had by this point become corrupted by the teachings from Malachor, embraced the change, and with the power of the Starforge, these new Sith began to amass a massive war fleet. In 3959 BBY, the new Dark Lords revealed themselves to the galaxy and declared war on the Republic. We'll cover the story of their war, known to history as the Jedi Civil War, in the next episode of our Sith History series. But what do you think?
Aw, man.
Are you excited to hear the rest of...
Okay, so that was another amazing video. So I already knew a lot of it because of Knights of the Old Republic and the Galactic Timeline videos and a few other things. So I already knew about like Revan, Malak, and how Revan was with Bastila Shan, and all that, because I'm like I said, his story is also something I really enjoyed. So I already when we went to this video and he started mentioning about the Star Forge and like the finding of the maps, I already had some knowledge of that. So maybe in the next video there may be I may have a little bit of knowledge in that video as well, but maybe there are a few things that will catch me off guard too, who knows. But either way, I really like how Malak and Revan, so basically they want to do the right thing, like stop the Mandalorians from like crushing the Republic, and eventually that like made them fall over to the dark side. So basically what I think is like no matter how hard like one side tries to eradicate the other, there's always something that causes one of their own to go to the other side. So I guess this is gonna be an endless cycle of war and fighting, and looks like one side can't purge the other completely. So I guess that's how it is. But anyways, I really enjoyed that video. So again, thank you guys for watching my reaction to this video, because I really enjoyed watching it. And again, thank you guys so much for your continued support in this channel. It is amazing to see. And also keep an eye out for more content, and also check out my other videos I have on my channel. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night wherever you guys are, and I'll see you guys next time.